All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here. We're making the most out of whatever the fuck we got going on with us. Because let's be real, it sucks. The resorts are closing, and like any ones that say they're opening within 24 to 48 hours, they're going into this voluntary lockdown. Because unlike Colorado, every place else is voluntarily shutting down. Colorado, we actually have an executive order to be shut down. But I went over that last night in last night's live stream with the State of the Shred Season address. So, anyways, we're here. Let's have some fun. Let's hear some rants, maybe tell some stories. I don't know. We'll play spin the wheel. You guys know how this goes. Any person that super chats gets a spin of the wheel. You could win a sticker pack. I'm giving away 2 sticker packs, 3 stickers, and you have the chance to you have 2 chances to pick a top 5. We'll also be doing a top 5 every day of the week starting tomorrow for you. I already got one done. It's edited. It's uploaded. It'll be going live tomorrow morning for you. You know, because we're going to be kind of in a drought of content, I think, for a lot of you guys out there. So, yeah, that's kind of it. It sucks. I know more resorts every hour are announcing that they're closing down for at least a week. Some of these places probably won't reopen, but let's just try to make the most of this. Let's, you know, we got stuff we can do. We got things. I got an idea too. You guys might like this. I think I might read Todd Richards' autobiography for you guys, start to finish. It's like, was it 200 and something pages? I think like 288 or something. Let's see. Yeah, 281 pages, not counting the epilogue. So probably going to film myself reading this. It'll be like an audiobook. If you guys have a copy, you can follow along. We'll do that. Also, I got to double check with the guy, but I got this. This is how raw this book is. He sent me this book. It's about Red Gerard, Judd, Heinz, Luke Winkleman, and being trapped and being abducted by aliens at Arapahoe Basin. So we'll see how bad that thing is. If it's good, I'll maybe read that to you guys if the guy will allow me. So trying to think of things I can do for you guys. So anyways, if you guys got questions, plop them over in the chat box over there on the side or in the bottom on the app, wherever you're watching this from. We're going to try to just answer questions as best we can. Yes, you're getting top 5s 5 days a week starting tomorrow. There's 2 more reviews coming up from that cockerel brand that I reviewed Friday. I think I dropped that video. It was Friday. So, you know, if you watched me shit on them in that, you get 2 more videos of me shitting on a company. So, yeah. That's kind of what we got going on over here for this part of the world. You know, you guys can always hit me up on Instagram too. I get fucking tons of messages on there. I always try to answer those too. So we're gonna just try to keep the Stoke alive. I mean, the season will be back. Next year's a new year, probably a new virus. Just kidding. Probably not. So yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here for some questions. We got one from Matrix777 Super Chat. Can't make the stream, but this is for the culture and Avran support. Keep moving forward, bro. David off from the VIP. Yeah, we have a VIP service for any of you guys that don't know what that is. AngrySnowboarder.vip. You get content early over there. We also drop the written reviews starting in June. There is 27 written reviews. So there's some written reviews. I'm not fully dead in the water over here for 2021 stuff. So, and I'll try to bang out some more. So you got that. And, you know, we have like private Q&As and stuff over there as well. So if you want to join, you can do that. There's multiple levels. I got a whole video over there that explains it so much better anyways. And then we got a super chat from Michael Anderson as well. So we're going to give him, because I know Davidoff can't make the stream, but we got to give Michael Anderson a spin of the wheel. You lose a turn. So, okay. Well, not starting off on a good note with the wheel today. Okay. Gene Graves asks, Skeetball is still open. Am I a kook if I go shred tomorrow? I had people hit me up from Snow Basin because it's open in Utah and like Powder Mountain and a lot of the resorts that are still open. And they just said they got 2 laps in before the lift lines went to being an hour plus long. So it's really about like, do you feel comfortable or not? And I strongly don't recommend it just because with community spread, like things like that. It's on you. But I mean, if no one's there, I'd say go do it right now. I could head north to a bunch of resorts, and I'm choosing not to. I'm just staying locked in. So yeah, Mount Hood closed today, both Meadows and Timberline. Okay, we got Dominator LP. Currently ride a GNU carbon credit and want to step up to a camber or hybrid camber board. Need something wide. Just ride groomers in Tahoe. Okay, so you're coming off of a full reverse camber. So if you go to a full camber board, that's going to be a little aggressive. So you got to take into consideration what that's going to be like for you. So it's going to ride drastically different than that full reverse camber. So I would say if you're looking to bump up and you're just cruising groomers in Tahoe, maybe like a rider's choice from GNU would be good for you. It's asymmetrical. It's hybrid camber, so you got your reverse into your camber in there as well. Otherwise, maybe a Jones Frontier camber into rocker, so you're going to get that low to camber, but you're going to get rocker out in the tip and the tail, so that would still work for you as well. I'm trying to think. You could maybe do a Yes basic as well, so you get more cam rocker there. If you're just riding groomers, you might even like the GNU Hyper Key Arv now that I think about it. That might be a good one for you as well. So you got options there for you, bud. I wish I gave you more, but unfortunately, getting blown up with questions over here. I want to kind of bang through and all right. Raul Duke. How's the PlayStation Network, guys? I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty. And I'm probably made a few kids cry already. So, yeah. All right. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Where are we? Brandon Edkins, what movies or shows are you binging now since there's limited work? Actually, I haven't started even binging anything yet or watching any shows. I did pop The Wraith on. It popped up on YouTube with commercials, so I popped that on. Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn, 1987, 86. Beautiful Loser from Ozzy Osbourne is the theme song. So for you guys that don't have streaming services, YouTube does have free movies on there, so you got that. But by and large, I just finished Hunters on Amazon like about 2 weeks ago, and that was really good. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch Stranger Things if I have to. If not, I got a lot of books to read. I got Operation Paperclip by Annie Jacobson talking about how the government after World War II smuggled in the top Nazi scientists, and that's how we launched our space program. Because they worked on the V2 rockets. So I've got a book on that I want to read. I've got Terry Funk's Harder Than Hardcore. I think that's what it's called, or More Than Hardcore autobiography, Terry Funk the wrestler. I don't like wrestling. Like, I don't watch it at all. I find the marketing of it absolutely amazing. So I'm going to read that. I got a bunch of other books on money management and shit that's going to be boring as fuck that I'm going to have to read. But I'm going to be just making content for you guys as well. If I do watch anything, almost all of Roger Corman's catalog is on Amazon Prime now. So you can go through that and watch a bunch of schlocky B movies, which are just campy, and leave them on in the background. I mean, last night I got bored, turned on Netflix and watched Riot with Dolph Lundgren, which was an awful, awful movie. And the choreography was fucking horrible for the women fighters. But yeah, so that's kind of that. Let's see. I know we got some super chats. So we got Raul Duke, social distancing fun. Let's give him a spin. Ooh, I get to drink some water. Perfect. I need this. Remember, everyone, stay hydrated during these times. All right. Let's see what we got here. Patrick Noel, let's hear the story about your spleen. What happened? All right, first you get a spin. See if you lose your turn on this one. No, you win a sticker pack, Pat. So shoot me an email, info@angrysnowboarder. Take a screenshot right now of this so I know it's you, and I'm going to put that sticker pack in the old mail tonight. because, you know, social distancing. I can go out at night when no one's around town. The story of my spleen. It was February 25th, 2002. It was 2:50 p.m. I was riding the half pipe on Foxfire at Holiday Valley in Western New York. I had to go pick up my friend Marcus Stevens. So I was making the lap through the pipe. I did frontside air, backside air, frontside 360, switch air, back to regular, and then I did an air to fakie stalefish. Came down, reverted around, hooked an edge, fell, ruptured my spleen because I'd actually hurt it 2 weeks earlier in the half pipe. I got a small tear in the spleen. Your spleen's about the size of your palm of your hand. So mine clotted and was about the size of a football. And when I fell on it that day, it ripped it end to end. The second that did, I was getting shortness of breath, and left side of my body, no, it was the right side. The right side, I couldn't see out of my right eye. My arm went limp, like basically all motor function on the right side. It was like a stroke just happened, and it just dropped. I tried to stand up, fell over, tried to stand up, fell over, tried to stand up, fell over 3 times. I knew that. Finally was able to get up and rode, and I blacked out while I was riding and tumbled, I guess. Don't know how long I laid there. Got up again, was gasping for air, rode into the base area, blacked out, slid basically head first downhill into the base area. It was just laid there for probably about 45 minutes. It was springtime, you know, so there really weren't many people at Holiday Valley. Lifty didn't think anything of it. Some guy walking by kicked my foot, and I didn't move. And he came over and looked at me, and he's like, dude, this guy's not doing well. And because of him, he actually was probably the one that saved my life. I probably would have just laid there and died. Anyways, they had to call Carl Kohler, rest in peace, great man, ski patroller. They called him out to look at me. He looked at me. He's like, Avran, you're not doing so hot. And we're calling an ambulance. So I tried to fight him. I was like, just get me to my car. I'll just drive to the hospital. We'll be fine. Yeah, as I'm blacking out, you know. And so they call the ambulance, and I know the ambulance squad people. And so they pull it in. And as they're loading me in the back, I'm like shaking. I'm losing so much blood. My body's just getting super, super fucking violently shaking and everything. I remember the last thing I said to him before I blacked out was, don't hit the pothole at the end of the parking lot, because this pothole was like 4 feet by 5 feet and about 1.5 feet deep. And I was like, do not hit the pothole. They hit the pothole, and I blacked out. Woke up on the side of 353 with the advanced life support card there, the fly card. The guy was slapping an IV in each arm, and he said the helicopter would be here in 30 minutes. And then they drove me around down 353 down to the far side of Holiday Valley and up past where Holiday Valley Realty used to be, and then took me out on the golf course, and the helicopter landed. And then the helicopter landed. I woke up just in time so for anyone that's never been flight for life, they actually open underneath the tail of the helicopter. So it opens up and you go in under the motor. So you're getting hit with this hot exhaust, and it smells like airplane fuel. And then you go in, and they put me in and then took me off to ECMC, and I was blacking in and out on the flight. And then when they landed on ECMC, they were actually cutting my clothes off, starting to, on the roof. And I had a group of about 9 people working on me. Yeah, so it was kind of fucking brutal. I spent 9 days in the hospital, 8 days in an ICU. I dropped from 180 something pounds to 135 pounds. Yeah, don't recommend it. So yeah, there's the story of that. All right, let's see. Okay, Roadster 99. Hear a lot about trying to take up volume in your boots, but not a lot is said about when your boots don't pack out as much as you wanted them. Advice for when boots still a bit tight in the toes. That's where heat molding comes in. And I actually did a video of that in the Boot Fitting 101. But you can put a toe cap on over your toe. Like, so you put your sock on, you put the toe on, toe cap on. You know, they heat up the liner. You tie it in, you tie it tight. You want to have your heels elevated so it's off your toes, but that foam piece will push out around there. And if that doesn't work, then what you want to do is pull the liner out and run a slit. Like, you take a razor and you slit it from the side of the big toe to the side of the little toe. And that'll put a line in the foam to push up and down from the height of your toes. And if that still doesn't work, if you're getting like a hot spot on your big toe or your index toe, then you cut one slit going down in there as well. So it's like a plus side. Don't cut so deep that you cut into the liner, but you do a mellow ass cut in there. And that will definitely give you a little bit more room in there. Okay. Okay. Old Man Shredder, let's see what he's got. Oh, he gets a rant out of this. Okay, well, Old Man Shredder asks, got Sunday today, got it on vid. What do you film with on Hill for Kevin Carver, for example? The first year, it was a GoPro Hero 3. Last year's stuff was the Hero 7 Black with the stabilizer in it. Yeah, so there's kind of that. There's a lot of stuff we could definitely be ranting about. But I think, because this was supposed to be spring break, and I am doing a top 5 this week, the top 5 people you would have encountered during spring break instead of you will encounter, but you would have encountered. We need to talk about the 2:30 p.m. park family in this rant. Something about March, soft snow, it's sunny, everything's going great. At 2:30 or thereabouts, maybe 2:45. So, you got about an hour and 15 hour and a half left of the park being open. The park family rolls in. These are your solid green run skiers, snowboarders, whatever. And they fucking feel they need to go into the big park. Take little Timmy and Susie in there. What the fuck is this shit? Your kid can't even fucking turn. They're snow plowing into everything. Dad's over there, Jerry jumping off the sides of rails. And you're like trying to hit stuff, and then they scream at you and they want to pick a fight with you and yell at you and tell you you're wrong. Or they're sitting on a rail and you're like, yo, get the fuck off of it. That's a feature. And, you make a video of it, and then a resort bans you. That didn't happen to me, but it happened to a friend of mine. But, yeah, those people fucking suck. We need to educate them, spray them. I don't care. Pick up their child when it's in the way in the park, because they probably have the little harness on the back, and go human bowling with them. Like, just pick it up to speed and just chuck them into the family, and hopefully that takes them all out. But fuck those people. Why is it like clockwork? It's like those people are like clockwork. They show up an hour and a half late for first chair. They spend 2 hours eating in the lodge, and then at 2:30 to 2:45, they decide they want to go in the fucking park. I don't fucking get it. It's like clockwork. You'll be sitting there. When I used to ride Breck, you could just be sitting at the top of Park Lane, and they'd all truck in, and you'd be waiting in your spot in line to drop in for the top triple line. Nope. Oh no, they're fucking cheese wedging right past you, just going up, and then they get stuck on the lip, and then they're fumbling around, and they're digging the lip up and shit, and everyone's yelling at them, and they're like, what? I don't get it. These are the people we need to get rid of warning labels for so they fucking die. Like, these are the worst types of people, man. So, yeah, there's your rant. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Missed a few here. Oh, let's see. Okay, we got Sheldon Krieger. All right, Sheldon, let's give you a spin on the old wheel. All right, you get a sticker. So, Sheldon, take a screenshot. Email me, info@angrysnowboarder, with your address, and I'll drop it in there. His question is, I weigh 185 pounds, lean with strong legs. Both my boards are 160 plus centimeters. Do you suggest going shorter for a change? It depends what you're doing. If you were doing park, yeah, I would definitely, at 185, I would drop down to at least a 57, if not a 54. But if you're free riding and you like that length and you're getting good edge hold, definitely I think you're fine. It's not a big deal. It really comes down to what you're looking to do. Plus, we're in this whole world of volume shifted snowboards, and I think everyone should at least ride one once in their life just to experiment with it and experience it, because it's going to ride so much different than anything else out there. But I think, if you're comfortable with it, that's good, especially, but if you were like doing more freestyle, I definitely would push you to something smaller. All right. Adnan Fez, made it to Bear Valley, puking snow, couldn't see anything, but it's snowboarding. Hope this small donation helps. Hey, everything helps. All right. You get to pick a top 5. So shoot me a top 5 anywhere you want. We'll put it in the Bible and go from there, which actually the Bible's sitting over there because I was working on stuff. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Beeswax, I just got given a ride O203 Timeless 148. The camber on it's insane. Am I going to die currently on a machete? God, dude, that one, that's that one with that weird clitoris cap thing on the top sheet, too. So, man, dude, that it's burly. I say go rip it, though, man. What not? Have fun with it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Mark L with the super chat, and that's a European super chat. I know some of you guys are having issues. That's a super chat issue. Which is owned by Apple, and then YouTube licenses it or something. I have no say in that. Anyways, Mark, let's give you a spin. That's on the line. We'll go again. All right. Well, pick a top 5. Okay, so those are done. Those are done now. Mark, you get to pick a top 5 for this week, buddy. So that's done. But I'm going to answer your question. Thoughts on Solomon's quadrilaser side cut technology? It makes sense in theory because you got these straight lines and everything. The problem is the second you ride that thing on ice, you realize it's not good. It does not grip at all like it should, how they claim. I mean, it engages. It's weird too because like with a standard side cut, you've got that arc and you can feel it when you center flex a board and you get on your back foot and really push into it. It'll steer how you want. But when you're on quadrilaser and you do that, it grips so different and it doesn't have that transitional period that you want, like where you're coming in and out of the turns. It's more like it just like kinks really hard and then kicks out. So I hope that answers your question. Matthew Smith, trying to make a DIY summer snowboard setup. Does turf covered in soap and water actually work? Yes, it does work. You just have to make sure that you keep everything lubricated. Murphy's oil soap is actually really, really good for that. Murphy's it'll lube it up really, really well. Or you could spray some silicone spray on top of it, then throw some Murphy's oil soap and water on there, and that'll really make it slick. That's always a good one. The other one that I've seen people do is the orange safety fence nailed on top of boards. They've used that because you can slide across that as well. So, yeah. Brian Mullane with the super chat. Let's give you a spin, Brian. Well, this thing's going. This thing's going. Where's it stopping, people? It's never friggin' ending over here. Oh, you win a sticker. Sweet. Brian, hit me up with your address and a screenshot of this. But he asked, can we get a top 5 Freeride boards for Sasquatches? Thought I did do a top 5 for Freeride boards for big footers. I thought I did that back in January or around there. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I'll add that to the list, though. That could be something for sure. All right, what else we got going on here? Trying to catch up on stuff. Jacked up. Have a Burton Custom Flying V. What would be the next step up? I like to carve hard and get into the POW. I like to dabble with the park, too. So if you're for what you're describing, I mean, carve hard and get into the POW, you'd be looking more like maybe a deep thinker from Burton if you stayed with them. Otherwise, I'd say you're probably looking like an all-mountain Freeride board would be better for you, or a higher-end all-mountain freestyle board. So if we did all-mountain Freeride, Jones Flagships, Capital Black Snowboard to Death, Ride Berserker, we'll go is that one from Nidecker I'm trying to think of. Oh, the Nidecker Babs would probably fit in there for you too. That would be a good one. But then if you go higher end all mountain freestyle, you're looking at like Jones Ultra Mountain Twin, maybe a K2 Broadcast, Ride Helix could be in there. It's a little stiffer. So you got a bunch of options in there. All right. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Switch flip with the super chat. All right, let's spin it. Oh boy, this thing. I think I got to tighten that nut down on the front. Remember, always tighten your nuts. Oh, Jesus, this thing is going. Holy shit. Will it ever end? I don't know. All right. You got sticker pack. That's where it stopped. So hit me up, switch flip, info at Angry Snowboard. Take a screenshot of this, and I'll get you a sticker pack. But let me answer your question. Hey, I got a Huck Knife, which is my park board, but I've been looking at a Super Pig as an all-mountain board. I weigh 155. Should I go for the 151 or the 148 on that? Go for the 48. That'll fit you better. Like, I ride the 51, and I have about 45 pounds on you. So that should answer that question for you. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see what else is going on. Yellowstone Country Fly Fishing by Walter Weiss. If people are looking for resorts to rip next season, Bridger Bowl in Montana is paying all employees through the scheduled closing date. That's rad. Definitely. Bridger's a sick area from what I've heard too, so it's on my radar. I want to go. All of you guys, we might as well start planning our trips for next year. Why don't we go? We're all going to Montana. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do. Actually, Bridger, everyone should check that out. Okay, so we got a super chat from Flowjob, so let's give him a spin. Jesus. This thing is ridiculous. I really got to build a bigger wheel when all this blows over. This is, and get like its own camera, just like a camera for the wheel. I think that would just be really cool to do. Start learning OBS. Go from there. Oh my God, this thing just never ends. All right, Flowjob, you get the last sticker of the day. So that's off the wheel now. So but I'm going to answer your question. Comparison, Solomon Speedway versus Niche Malstrom. I haven't ridden the Speedway, so I'm really not super familiar with it. But the Malstrom, when I got on it, was just like the most amazing board I've been on in forever for what it was. I love that board. I'm just doing a quick read-up on this thing. I think the biggest difference you're going to see between the Malstrom and the Speedway is going to be that backseat camber profile, and the Speedway is going to be a little more driven off the tail and have probably a little more power out of it than the Malstrom would. The Malstrom's still solid. Yeah, I think other than that, I think the flexes will probably be fairly close. The Malstrom might be a little bit softer than the Speedway. But all I can say is how much I love the Malstrom. Like when I got on that thing, that's like the best board that Niche has ever made in all the years that they've made boards. So that should tell you something. And I've ridden boards from them from every year that they've been out, and that is definitely hands down the best board in there, especially for freeride. That nose kick really plows through snow. You got that tapered sinks. You got serrated edges, magnet traction, or contact bumps, or whatever the fuck they're calling it. It's magnet traction, and it locks in where you need it to, and everything like that. It's a super, super solid board. So, yeah, I think it's probably the best answer I can give you for that. Maybe, I don't know. Vincent Do, anyone want to know what's that Marhar Hammerhead is about? So this board back here is actually a prototype sample. Some people, if you're like on Dig My Quiver or something like that, you've probably seen it. Nate sent me this just to ride. So the tail on this is crazy cutout, and it actually has full metal edges in there, and they are bent. They are not seamed at all. It's just something new that they're playing with. And yeah, so it's just something new that they're playing with. Nate sent it to me to try out. Wrote it in about like 6 inches of pow with a lot of chunder underneath. The camber profile isn't the camber profile I would put on something like that. I would probably do more like an S setback camber on it. But yeah, it's just something new that they're trying. Plus the contact points at the tip are crazy defined as well. So it really is unique when you get it on edge. Yeah. All right. Okay, where was I? Kevin Lizzo, drinking game. Take a swig every time Avran says, let's see what we got here. I'm already buzzed. Well, let's see what we got here. You're fucking dead, man. It's okay. I'm prepared for the apocalypse. I have a bottle of Everclear. Shit really fucking hits the fan. I'll drink it and die. So, yeah. All right. Billy Ray Valentine, $2 super chat. Lube me, baby. He just wants a spin of the wheel. That's all he wants. I know it. And that's all he's going to get. Fuck, man. This thing is just going hard today. Holy shit. Here we go. It's going. It's going. Still going. Spin again. Jesus Christ. Tighten that nut up a little. Make it spin a little bit less. There we go. Oh, lose a turn. Wah, wah. All right. Ooh, Mark L coming in hot with the top 5 he wants. My top 5 will be the worst text ever put into snowboards and why. Why? Now that's a 2-parter right there. It's a lot more work. I don't know how I feel about this. Creating more work for me while I'm on voluntary isolation. All right, I'll add that one to the list. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Andrew Coates, where does the LibTech Dynamo fit in category-wise? Rad Dad Ripper? I wouldn't call it like Ripper. It's more like Rad Dad Cruiser. It's in that middle level of boards where it's like not full-blown volume shift, like you can drastically downsize, but it's not like full-blown, like you're just going to go charge hard and kill it. It's kind of like cruiser board in the middle of there with how it rides and everything. Kyle Good, have you tried Karua shapes? No, I haven't. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. Benjamin Gov, the slush slasher worth adding to the quiver or look for something else? If you're looking for a fun springboard or like low angle pow board, that's a great board for it, for just going out, ripping carves, party boarding, having fun, playing around. I'd say do it, man. Definitely do it. Okay. All right. We got one more super chat here from Flowjob, so he gets another spin. Because people just love spins. Lose a turn. Unfortunately, he asked me to rant on Buckhouse too with that, and he lost his turn. So, nope, sorry. Grinchy Poo, how do you feel about aftermarket boot liners? So here's the thing with a plug liner, especially if you're looking at like an Intuition one that doesn't have any real shape to it. Molding them to a snowboard boot is a lot harder than molding them to a ski boot, just because the way the shell of a snowboard boot is, it's a lot softer, more malleable. But you do have that Remind liner in there as well. The big thing is getting your hands on it to see, like if it's one that's got shape to it before you put in, making sure that it actually fits your foot, versus if you get like a plug liner that's just the, you know, it looks like a fucking potato with a stalk coming out of it. That's the only way I can describe it. But if you go that route with one of those, it's you really got to find you have to mold it right. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, just put it in the boot and put it on the stacks, and I'll mold it." Those have to be molded in an oven, so you have to have someone that knows what they're doing. So you got to put it into the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes, Then you've got to work fast to get it into the shell without it being manipulated, folded, creasing, or anything like that. Then get your footbed in there. Then really get it to mold in there. It's a huge process. I'll be honest, I've done it probably about 6-7 times for snowboard boots, and it is the biggest pain in the dick I've ever had boot fitting. It's the hardest thing to do. It doesn't matter how much fucking silicone spray you put on there to lube it up to get it in there. It will not do what you need it to do. It's just such a pain in the ass and in that. But if you get one that's got the shape to it, that's good. I think the Remind one is actually better than the Intuition one that has shape. The Intuition one, unless they've changed it used to have a hard plastic around the back spine and around the top, and it doesn't allow for that rebound in the back of the liner when you push into it. So food for thought. There you go. Let's see. You got Nike Kaijus and you're talking about the... No, fucking throw those things. The Kaijus are piles of turds. Go get some real fucking snowboard boots. Don't waste money on a liner for a Nike. Just fucking throw the whole thing away and get a real boot. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Okay, Brian Mullane. I have a pair of Oakley flight decks. If I wear a face mask under my helmet, I get a ton of air into my front eye. None if I just wear a helmet. What can I do to fix this? So here's the thing. It depends if you have the strap over the helmet or under the helmet. If you're going over the helmet, you're kind of fucking screwed. But if you're going under the helmet, you need to pull the strap up on the goggles so it's a little bit higher on the back of the head, which is going to create a weird point on the back as well with that helmet in there. The other thing, it could just be that specific face mask. So you, especially if you have like a 2-layer one that's a little thicker, you might need to go to a 1L, which is a little thinner. I wear 1Ls for everything, regardless of how cold it is, so that way my goggles don't fog. So that could be an issue. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Somebody just got drunk again. All right. Okay, I cannot pronounce this super chat name, but we'll give you a spin because I assume that's Japanese, but it might be Chinese. I just can't read those hieroglyphics. I'll be nice. I'll be nice because I butchered your name. I'll answer this question. Hey, I watched your review and bought the simulator. Awesome Psycho. Not so stable on jumps compared to Black Snowboard Death. Is it normal? And what's your thoughts? They're two fucking completely different boards built completely fucking different. The Black Snowboard of Death isn't even a jump board. It's an all-mountain freeride board that you could hit jumps with if you wanted to, whereas the simulator is just an asymmetrical DOA more than anything. That's all it is. You say it's not stable. It's a jump board. That's what it's for. The Black Snowboard of Death is a carving board that's designed for laying on turns. It's just got less torsional flex to it, less flex in the tips. It's a completely, you're comparing an apple to a fucking orange and going, it's not working the way I want. Ugh. So yeah. All right, there we go. Alpine Ibex. When is the next merch drop? Well, we were going to do something this month, but that's probably not happening. I was going to do more mystery boxes and clear out all the leftover stuff that I have to get ready for the fall. We'll have a whole new line of stuff. We're working on some kind of new graphics. We're going to go on internet themed, like old school internet themed. So think like AOL 1998 with some stuff. But yeah. All right. Let's see what else is going on. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay. Let's see. Kyle Good. This is a relevant super chat. I'm going to give you a spin here, Kyle. Oh, you get a rant. Okay. You get a rant. But yes, and I can tie this into your question. You think the resorts will open back up on the 23rd? Right now, I'm optimistic that they will open back up on the 23rd. I mean, you're talking billions of dollars in revenue in this country, just North America. being lost on this between food concessions, rentals, lodging, ancillary sales, paid parking, lift ticket sales, lessons, all that shit. It all adds up. I think we're going to play it by ear. We'll know more by Wednesday, Thursday if they're going to do it. If they did stay closed, it would be another week, so that would be 2 weeks down. Some resorts probably wouldn't reopen for the 2 weeks. I'm kind of curious if the Forest Service will let a lot of resorts that are on forest land extend their season without having to pay and being like, you guys lost this, why don't we do this? And it would make sense that they would. If the government was being smart, which it's the government being smart, that's just an ironic statement in itself right there. I think that it would. But right now, we got to play it by ear. And I know everyone's chomping at the bit and they want to go. And trust me, Colorado's got snow coming in Tuesday to Saturday next week. I want to go fucking ride. I might go out and like do some laps on Loveland Pass or something. I'll grab one friend that I know is not infected, and he and I will probably just go alternate laps with my car and do that. But by and large, like, it's, you know, I'm being optimistic. I think we're doing the right thing. I think what they're really doing this close down was to go through and clean everything. Plus, I'd heard reports that some of the Vail employees may have come down with it or were being tested, and they had that like false positive where they're like kind of isolated just until the full results come back in. So they're probably going through it. They're just doing this to clean everything more than anything, and then implement new standards and practices, because this is literally, it has been 102 years since the Spanish flu came through, and that was probably the last real widespread epidemic that we've seen on a global scale that wasn't contained. And so for our generation, this is something we've never seen. I mean, 102 years, there's probably people that were born when that happened, but there's no one that lived through it alive anymore. So, you know, this is it. But on a side note, for any of you guys that are urban riders and there's rails at the resort you've always wanted to hit, like handrails, now's the time to go fucking hit them, because security ain't working. No one's going to come out and bitch. Fuck it. Go send those rails you want. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. Ednan Fazlek with the super chat. Yeah, so actually you guys have won any of the prizes that we would do for the wheel. So I'm just going to cancel the wheel for the rest of the thing. Asks, any thoughts on the Endeavor Alpha 699 Steep? Was supposed to have one show up this week. I don't know what's going on with the guy that was supposed to send it to me. If he got sick, he got scared, whatever. I haven't gotten any of them in. I'm going to email him after the 23rd, like when I email all the other companies, and see who still wants to send me stuff if the resorts reopen. And that is on the list. I get the price tag on that because there's a lot of carbon in there to make it stiff. It's just the construction method and what that board is. So yeah, that's kind of it with that. But I think it's going to I think it's going to carve somewhere like the Battalion Carver or the Nidecker Concept. I think it's going to be somewhere in there. Okay, Tom T with the super chat. Story, boot background on how you ended up in K2. Okay, so I was working in a snowboard shop, and that year was the first year that K2 had a thing called Camp K2, which I think it was like $250. You signed up for it, not counting your airfare. You got 3 days of riding at Mount Baker. You got a snowboard out of it. You got your food, and then my local rep had rented us an RV to stay in while we were there. So about 4 days, 3-4 days before the event, I was riding Vans Fargos at the time. My Fargos completely, I obliterated them. I obliterated it. I smashed a rock and broke the boa coiler, not the knob and everything, but I broke the whole top piece completely off, like out of the housing. Irreparable, and they had like 80 days. I wasn't going to warranty them. I knew that was it was destroyed. So I hit the rep up. Like, I went to every shop in the county and I couldn't find anything. So I hit the rep up and was like, hey man, my boots are toast. I know, like, do you have anything? And he's like, hey, I got these T1 DBs. It's a double boa. And I was like, I'd never ridden double boa because the Fargo was a single boa. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So the day I was flying out for the event, drove to his house. He had them on the stacks. They were heat molded. Got them heat molded. Basically threw them in my backpack, got on the plane, didn't even ride them, got to Mount Baker and rode them. And I rode Baker for 3 days, then I rode Stevens for a day, and then I left. So I was there for 4 days riding boots that I didn't know on it. And those boots were phenomenal. And then, so I told him, I was like, hey, can I get another pair next year? And he was like, yeah, you can get another pair. And then at the time, there was a boot designer named Joel Yang, which he's doing, I think he's doing bags and other things for all of K2 and stuff, doing travel equipment now, but he was their boot guy for a while. And Joel started sending me prototypes. So like I would get the weirdest shit. Like I got boots one time, they put the wrong foam in them, and I stomped a landing and completely compressed the foam completely flat, but they fit so well. And so then I put another order in for the T1DB, and a set of Thraxuses showed up. And I was like, triple bone. And they were like, just try them. We'll get you T1s if you really want. I was like, okay. And I put them on, and they were stiffer than the T1. And I was having ankle problems at the time, and a stiffer boot would just lock me in. That's my big issue. That's why I ride a stiff boot, is it just locks my ankle in. And that I like, and they have a natural forward lean in them. So I'm already locked in, my knees bent, everything like that. So I did that, and I was riding those, and I've ridden, I think I'm on my 5th or 6th set of Thraxuses now. They always fit my foot. Like there was 1 year of Thraxus where I got a sample that was a little weird, and I ended up having to take a Dremel to the back of the boot and grind it out. And it was just this weird lip. It was a sample, I'm pretty sure. And I just ground this lip out, and that's the only issue I've ever had. But they've been the best fitting boots that I've ever had in 20 plus years of snowboarding. So that's why I actually have a brand new set of Thraxuses. I bought 2 of the exact same pair of boots last year for when my ones would die. And my one pair died at the end of last season. So I rode out with a brand new set of Thraxuses like the last 20 days of the season. Then I've been riding that set all year. And then last month, the liners, because I always take the old liners from my last pair of boots and put them in the new shell so I speed up the break-in process. The liners finally crapped out on me. So I threw the liners out, put brand new liners in. I've been riding those for about a month now, and the shell on the boot it's got this gaping hole from resting my board on it, and it's about to explode. So when that dies, I'll switch to the new ones, but take the liners from it and put it in and speed up the break-in process. But yeah, that's how I kind of came to K2. It was the best boot that fit my foot and fit my needs. And I've tried other boots on since then. They just never work. So yeah. Let's see. Chris Bond, make America spin again. There's nothing to win on there for you guys at this point. You're not winning anything. I mean, if we spin it, you get nothing. You can lose a turn. I mean, that's it. There you go. I want to build a big ass wheel. I mean, you're supposed to get a rant. You're getting a rant about the wheel right now. That's really it. I want to build a jumbo wheel with like 25 to 30 things on it. And I know the guy that helped me build the altar is in here. He's on the name One Cold Frog, and I want to talk to him about building that like a jumbo fucking wheel. We're going to officially name it. It's going to be the original whatever, because I was the first one to do this for snowboarding. And I'm just going to wheel it out when I do live streams, and we can just like spin it and have a camera that – I want to get like a second camera that just spins on that. So, yeah. Okay. Benjamin Gov, we need a YouTube of you shredding. It's what the people need. Good luck on the Rome SDS top 5. Yeah, I'll do your top 5. I know. We'll get to that this week probably. Yeah, I know people want to do it. I ride alone so much, and I feel bad if I had to try to make a friend film. It's not who I am. I hate riding with a GoPro in my hand, like the stick and all that shit. It's not that. Originally, we were going to do a spring beach party at a basin. We might still do it when they reopen. I'm going to rent a beach spot. I got to talk to Schaller and Weber and see if they'll sponsor meat. I'll get a grill up there. I got to borrow a pop-up tent. Anyone that wants to come to the basin that day, go, and we'll just make party laps on that. And I was originally going to do that at Pow Mau. I was going to do a whole tour of the West, and then shit just got in the way. And that might be a next year thing, if I can plan it a little bit better. Robert Sue, top 5 Freeride bindings and shears. Okay, so now O-Drive, Burton Genesis X, Burton X-Base, or whatever the fuck that it's called on there. Let's see. If you can find them, the K2 Formula Cs. Otherwise, nothing really replaced those, so we'll put those in the honorable mention category. I would put a Union Atlas in there. Not a fan. I rode them. I didn't like them. I thought they were garbage. It's the only binding I almost threw away on the mountain. So that's on there. You could do Ride's got it's not the rodeo, is it the capo? No, well, it doesn't matter. Ride renames everything next year anyways to like the AC 147 Blue 42 set hut. But yeah, anything that's like a little bit on the stiffer side is good, but that's kind of how that goes. All right. Home is where you park it. Would volume shifted boards be easier on bad ankles? Yes and no. It depends on the board. The bigger thing is going to be the construction of the board. I feel like if you got bad ankles and you're getting a lot of vibrations, what you need to do, one, I would go with more of an American-made board. They tend to have a wetter layup in there. They have more fiberglass, more epoxy in there, so they're a little more damp, which absorbs chatter as well. Two, you need a binding that actually absorbs. In my opinion, that would probably be a nitro. That air pad technology that they have really does a great job of dissipating any vibration in underfoot. You want something that also doesn't have a mini disc. Mini discs just create more fatigue, in my opinion. It's just something about that, like where you have a bigger disc, you have a bigger dead spot, so that binding just really absorbs stuff. The Rome stuff, even though it's not like a crazy mini disc, it's like bigger than most mini discs, but I've been riding the black labels, and those things absorb chatter really well, which means the Katana and the DOD should do it as well for you. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. I know I skipped a bunch of questions here. Jake Delp, do you ever split board or does it suck? I like riding magic couches to the top. You see me sitting on this couch. This is like sitting on a chairlift for me. I can sit on it, and it takes me to the top of the mountain. Not this one. This one just sits here and takes me on the internet with you guys. But that I haven't split. I had a split board. I actually gave away all my split board stuff this year. I gave it to all my friends. I gave my bindings to my friend in LA because he was getting a split board. He'll go out and tour around, and then I gave my actual split board and skins that I never used to my boy Bruce, so he'd give me a ride to the airport. I'd rather he would ride it than me. And then, of course, he goes and blows his knee out, so he can't. He's out. So, yeah, I'm just not that guy. Chris Jones, when is your 2021 Black Snowboard to Death review dropping? You mean that board right there? That's the 2021 Black Snowboard to Death. The reviews for the general public will drop sometime in the fall, mid-September to mid-October. I haven't pinned down a date. With everything going on right now with coronavirus and resorts closing, I'm kind of reevaluating when I'm going to drop reviews. If you're a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, a new review every day will drop for VIP members starting June 1st. So there's that. Let's see what else. Okay. B Kings, hey Avran, is there much difference between sizing and how it affects your riding? For example, 150, 154. When you're talking that small, the biggest difference you're going to notice is edge hold, and usually the bigger size is a little wider in the nose and tail, so it gives you a little more stability. Those are the biggest differences in there. You know, when you're jumping like 10 centimeters or more, that's where you really notice the difference. Anything that's like 2 to 3, it's very incremental for most people, or at least that's how I've noticed it so far. Okay. Ryan, have you demoed the 2021 Jones Mountain Twin? No, I'm supposed to pick those up on the 23rd. So if the resorts reopen, I will be picking them up, and then I will be going to review those. All the Yes, Jones, and Now stuff. Let's see. Let's see. What if I don't quite trust in Raul Duke? What if I don't quite trust in Kevin? It's the mustache. I don't trust in Kevin. Have you seen that mustache? It's creepy. It's creepy. It's very, very, very creepy. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight to be in the chat to hound you guys. He actually has to take in all the rental returns at his job. That's got to be fun. Angry fucking people on vacation returning rentals in droves. So, yeah. Okay. HDD. That's some super high definition right there. Top 5 snowboard innovations. Side cut. That should be number 1. You're welcome, Skeen. That camber, tweaking camber profiles, that's huge in there. I think getting away from 4x4 inserts to 4x2 and making that almost standard on everything was really smart as well. PTEX, urethane sidewalls, all that stuff. That's really innovative. And then finally figuring out how to put different additives in the core and whatnot, and how to really tweak and mill a core to make it good. So yeah. Okay. Mr. Perry Vlogs, no Wheel of Death? You mean this? It's there. You guys have just won all the prizes at this point, because I limited it this much. Yeah. Jackie Greenhalg, opinion on the Burton family tree line. I think they have some good stuff in there, and I think they have some bad stuff. It depends on the boards and what you're looking for. Like, I've ridden some great stuff out of that line, and I've ridden some stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Lately, I haven't been riding much, so I can't really talk too much about what's going on in the Burton family tree line, because they don't really send me stuff anymore, mainly because I just don't know who to talk to. But yeah, I think, it's hit or miss, and you really got to read it if you can read into like how they're described, and then if you get a chance to demo them, definitely get a chance to try it on there. Rich Lesnar, your best friends at the Good Ride are obsessed with union bindings. They're also obsessed with sucking dicks with their buttholes, but hey, that's their thing. Fuck the Good Ride. Just fuck them. I guarantee you're going to get 200 board reviews and binding reviews because of this quarantine, because his resort's closed, but he won't have ridden any of them, but he'll tell you all about how they are. They'll regurgitate marketing and tech specs to you, and they'll regurgitate it wrong. Fuck the Good Ride. Just fuck them. Like, I wish this would put them out of business, because they're not fucking snowboarders. They're just people that fucking snowboard. They have no background talking about tech. They don't know how to fucking snowboard. Yeah, I'm fucking ranting about this asswipe. He's a fucking douche canoe. Ugh. All right. Huh. Okay, I think we're catching up on questions here. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. Damn. Yeah, not really seeing too much. All right. Oop. Tom T, anything 2021 beating the Mercury for the one board quiver? Unfortunately, I've only gotten to ride about 30 snowboards so far, so no. I will say the new Black Snowboard to Death is fucking phenomenal from Capita. Like, I'm almost considering getting one for myself, but I know a lot of stuff got revamped for next year. That's a question to ask me sometime in the fall, if hopefully I can get out and ride more stuff. All right. All right. Patrick Knoll saw that the underground here in Breckenridge has some Mountain Twins on sale, but I feel the 154 would be too small for me at 5'11", 190 pounds. Thoughts? I'm 6 foot and 200, and I ride the 54 or the 57. The 54 is more like my fuck around Colorado. Like, I don't really like 6 inches of power, less board, gonna play, hit the park type thing. The 57 is more like going a little more north, steamboat, a little deeper, lower angle power. If I was heading to the northwest, it would be like my all mountain board. You can do it. And just so anyone knows, my local shop, the Underground Snowboards here in Breckenridge, is selling their demo boards. They've got a bunch of stuff that's actually not really heavily ridden for under $200. So you can always check out their website, or which you have to Google because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Or you can Google search and get their phone number. Give Andy, Leanne, Phil, Olivia, or Kyler, Smiley, Jeff, Kelly, whomever's working there, you can give them a call and see about maybe getting one. But I think some of that stuff's probably been ridden less than 10 times, and it's in good shape. I wrote a bunch of that stuff, some of their demo stuff, just to get some reviews done. And yeah, but yeah, they've got stuff going on, and it would be really cool to help out a local shop. So, give it a chance, All right. Michael Kulik, Avran, thanks for doing this today. I needed it after my trip out to Snowshoe this coming weekend got canceled. Yeah, dude, it sucks. You're in that mid-Atlantic region, and this probably would have been the last weekend, I think, because I don't think they're getting any more snow. Yeah, for all you guys, we're going to try to do a live stream every single day. I don't know the exact times yet. I'm going to try to move it around just so I can hit the Euro guys, because they've been dealing with this a little bit longer with their resorts and stuff, and they definitely need it. But yeah, I'm going to try to do content all week for you guys, try to give you stuff, try to do things. We're an hour into this live stream. We got 113 people in here. The connection seems pretty solid. I don't know if you guys are picking up anything weird and sound or whatever. I'm trying to do this for you guys. Like, I'm here. We got to share in the Stoke. Next season's a new season. It's going to be good. Summer will be here soon. Mount Hood will open. We could do that. If anyone's brave enough to head to the Southern Hemisphere, round-trip tickets are cheap, and you can even book stuff out a year in advance right now to a year and a half. So if you wanted to go to, like, Argentina and Chile next summer, like 2021, you can get good, cheap tickets. I've been looking at stuff. I've seen stuff in, like, the $200, $300 range and less. So, check that out. Unfortunately, I was looking at tickets to Japan. They're still over $1,000, but that'll probably change in the next month or so. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Human Rationally. What is your favorite Dinosaurs Will Die board? My favorite board is the Dinosaurs Will Die Brewster, which became the Never Not. Mellow camber, unique shape, twin contact point to contact point, directional when you look at the actual shape of it. Good pop, good play, good torsional give to it. I liked it so much I actually went and bought one. And then I promptly only rode it 4 days. And then product review season started, and then I hurt my knee. But I'm giving it to my good friend Trevor up in Montana because he needs a snowboard. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Raul Duke. How about a little bit more about how our 3D printer China is going to have a hard time providing this new gear next year? I know I touched on this last night in the State of the Shred Season address. Globally, you got to realize one of the biggest areas that's impacted it houses a lot of the industrial area, and so some people are still going to work, some aren't. Some stuff is going to ship late. I know when I talked to Jason Braz from Fix, I asked him if he was going to ship late with his production being in China, and he said, one, we'd actually moved to a new facility that was away from that area, and two, the factory owners and the workers live above it, and so they've been able to work through this. So Fix will be having stuff, but he said, he's like, I speculate that other companies, and I feel this too, that we'll see boot and binding shortages on stuff. So right now, with stuff being on sale, it would be smart and in people's best interest. If you've got a boot and you like it and it's hit the end of its lifespan, buy that same boot if you can find it in your size right now, and you'll have that for next season. That way you can go into it. I mean, it's a boot. Its functionality is still the same. Yeah, maybe it doesn't have the colorway you like or whatever, but it's still there. So it'll work for you. On that bindings, I think we're going to see a shortage as well, but there's a lot of stuff that's actually carrying forward for next year, so that's kind of a good thing. I think Ride and K2 are going to be drastically affected. I think anything out of GP87, which is Telos's factory, but it's also a bunch of other brands like Weston and Cardiff, I think that they might have some issues. We just got to kind of wait and see globally what this is going to do. And I think with shipping, I think there's going to be like tighter constraints with shipments coming in overseas, like how they come through customs and whatnot. Let's see. I feel like I missed a good question up here. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got Peng Ding Kang. I have extremely flat feet, and I've tried every custom insoles at local shops
Ended up with the flattest plus heel high wedge. Still have soreness at middle of my feet from time to time. Anything to help? Do you have a insole in your shoes? You need to train. So if you're getting pain in just snowboard boots, but you have an insole and it feels good, you need to have that similar one in your shoes for around town. Like, you should always do that. It helps train the muscles and strengthen them and get them accustomed to it as well. And that can be an issue. So, yeah. Okay. David Barnes just got back to the UK from the French Alps. Wow, that was a tense traveling day, but I rode the party platter 4 days till shut down and got some great party boarding. I'm glad you got some party boarding in, David. There's a sticker envelope coming your way, too. I'm glad you made it back to the UK. Hopefully you didn't pick anything up on the travel there, and I hope you're safe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Chris Jones, how much does weight really play in what size board you should get? It should be the main consideration when you're picking your length. And that's kind of the big thing with it is like, but you got to realize those guidelines that they give you, some companies have like 100-pound guideline. Here's the thing. Let's say you're 200 pounds, you're on a 154, it's a medium flex board. You're probably slightly over the weight range. Just understand that board's going to flex a little bit more. Now you take a guy that's 130 and you put him on that 154. He's so low weight, he's going to be at the high end of the flex scale on that. So that board's going to be stiffer for him. That's why when I never give quantifiable numbers when I do reviews, be like, it's a 6.5 out of 10. What the fuck does that mean? I'm like, hey, it feels like a middle of the road. It flexes more in the tips, stiffer underfoot, softer between the feet, not a lot of torsional flex. Or I'll be like, has a lot of torsional flex. You know, that's why I try to break the flex down like that, because it helps you guys gauge. And, you know, when you read the review and you see, oh, you're like, oh, he was 200 pounds, blah, blah, blah. And this year when we do the reviews, I'm trying to actually make an inlay, which will have all my stats. So it'd be like binding used, boot, weight, height, penis size, blood type, how blown out my butthole is, you know, things like that. Anything that's pertinent to that, like my angles, everything like that. And that'll just be like a little inlay that goes over the review. And you guys will be like, oh, okay, that's how much he weighed. Boom. Okay, I got this. So I'm 20 pounds less than him. I'm looking at the exact same size as him. This board's going to be a little more stiff than me. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. All right. Let's see. Okay. Tony Allen, does the rider's skill level determine board performance? Yes. You take a fucking person that's never snowboarded a day in their life and you put them on a Jones Ultra Mind Expander, they're not gonna ride that thing. That board's gonna own them. Skill has so much to do with it. Like, and people lie about their skill level all the time. I know this because I worked in a rental shop and people would try to tell me how good they are, and I'd sit there and watch them come down the run and they're eating shit and dying and they're trying to tell me they're a fucking expert because they've been 10 times. Like, I don't even like to classify myself as an expert rider when I have to. I'm just like, I can get down the hill and I can do things. That's about it. But so many people, they think they're a higher level than they are. It's always funny, like when I ride with people that have never ridden with me, and I always hold back until I can figure out where they are. And then I'll be like, okay, I can go wide open. But I'll take people out and they'll be like, oh, dude, this run is kicking my ass, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is crushing me. Like, last year at A Basin, one of the last days I rode, I ran into a guy on the chairlift, and he recognized me, and he's like, hey, can I make some laps? And I was like, you can do whatever you want, man. So I took him just wide open, blower, or chunder pow was kind of getting heavy at that time, and I was popping nose butters and little 360s and stuff and keeping it mellow for him. Guy made 3 laps with me and said he was cooked for the day. It wasn't even 11 a.m. I still had like 2 more hours of riding on a different board to swap to, and that dude was just cooked. And he was saying that he'd been out like 50-something days for the year. I mean, and I don't even think I'm a good snowboarder. I think I'm fucking atrocious. I'll be the first to admit it. I fucking suck. I have no problem with that. My presses look soggy. My board slides look zeeched. My carves look sloppy half the time. My back looks ultra stiff because it's so compressed all the time. I look like I suck. I can get down the hill. That's about it. The only thing I know is how a board should ride. Like I have this weird ability, and I've realized it started to carry over to how I can drive a car when I get into it and like how things react. So if I ever get done with snowboarding, I'm just going to go try out for UK Top Gear. I could replace Matt LeBlanc. I think I'd be way more interesting. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat from Tom T. Jump stick with huge traditional camber plus great edge tech. Honestly, I wouldn't say that it has great edge tech to it. I mean, it's got a good side cut. The Interior Plane Project Honolulu, 9 millimeters of traditional camber with a good side cut on it. I don't think it gets much better than that. Like that's pretty damn solid for traditional camber with that. I mean, if you really wanted edge tech, you could go with something with C3. And even though everyone says C3's got that little reverse between the feet, if you look at it, it's more flat and then it comes down. And that way you'd get magnet traction with it. Next year, there will be the new Rosinal Juggernaut, which is predominantly camber. It's cam rocker, but it's aggressive. It's stiff. It's got camber underfoot. So there's that. And it's got magnet traction. Well, serrated edges. It's magnet traction. Okay. Okay. Brandon Adkins, don't we all suck? I mean, we aren't Zeb Powell and Knucklehuck. You want to know why Zeb Powell is actually good at Knucklehuck? He was a gymnast. I've known that kid since he was like 9 years old, 10 years old when he used to come to Woodward. When he was 11, he looked like a 40-year-old bodybuilder. His upper body was so jacked, he could just do like one-handed handstand push-ups and stuff like that. That's why he can get away with that. Jaeger Bailey was the same way. He had a gymnastics background. You can spot the people that have that type of stuff in there. But in all honesty, no matter how good you are, you could be the best snowboarder on earth. In someone's opinion, you fucking suck. And once you realize that, it changes everything. Like, I know the guys at easylounging.com fucking hate me and they all think I can't snowboard. And I'm fine with it. Like, that's cool. I don't care. Like, fuck them. I don't give a shit. I don't snowboard with them. They talk about my riding, but I'm like, none of them have ever ridden with me. It's like, it's funny as fuck. I don't know. Let's see. Tom T. Rossi Juggernaut versus their heavy duty. So the Juggernaut and the heavy duty are kind of interchangeable. The difference is just the side cut on the two. The Juggernaut has the rad cut and the heavy duty does not have the rad cut, I believe. And I think that's the biggest difference between the two. That and it might be the amount of rocker in the Juggernaut is less because I think it's like 10 and 10 and then 80% camber versus 60% camber and 20 and 20% rocker in the tip and the tail. So, yeah. Let's see. Old Man Shredder, does anyone hate Renee Rinikongas? I hope no one hates Renee Rinikongas. That kid is fucking killer. But there's probably people out there that don't like his style, you know? I like Renee Rinikongas. Funny story about Renee Rinikongas. Technically, I was his team manager at one point when he was getting Flowbroad boards from Echelon, and I was contracted out to be like team marketing coordinator person for the lowest amount of pay I think I've ever made in the snowboard industry. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think we're kind of catching up on questions here. Jackie Greenhog, what bindings would you recommend with Burton ions that would mainly be used for free run? I think you want to go with something a little stiffer. So if you do, Burton will obviously match up to it. So was it the X base or free base or whatever they call it, and then the Genesis X for free riding? That's kind of where I would go with that. At the Now O Drive, you could do the Jones. I think the Apollo is the stiffer one. If not, it's the Mercury, but I'm pretty sure it's the Apollo. It's the stiffer one from that. K2, You might like the Lean AT, but you'd want to keep the stiffer pods on there and the heel block, so it's a little stiffer, unless you were going for more surfy on that. Let's see. Was it the Flux XF? Is that the stiffer one? I can't remember. Man, Flux, you want to talk about a brand that just sort of fell off the face of the earth in the last year. I was realizing that they hadn't really posted much on social media. Whew. Feel bad for them. I don't know what's going on over there. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Benoit, I died there. It may be too late now, but will you do a preview of the 2021 snowboard based on catalogs like last year? Anything super exciting? Yeah, so Kevin and I actually recorded a podcast on Friday, and we were talking about season passes and other things, and there's a section in there that is not up to date with coronavirus information, but we did announce at the end of it that we're going to, the next podcast we do will be the 2021 product preview podcast. And so we're going to go through that. He's got the whole week off this week. We'll probably go through this week and just bang this out. It's going to be like 3.5, 4 hours, I guess, because we're just going to go through everything, kind of talk about what we think's going on. We've written some stuff. You know, we'll do that. You guys will get that 100%. So that is coming. Cynthia, I just discovered Flux's boots, which are the best boots for my feet. I'm in love with them. Flux boots are so fucking underrated, and it's funny because they've had them in Japan for a while, and then they've started to bring them to the U.S., but the quality is there. Like, everything about them, I always forget that they're a boot brand, and no one really sells them in North America, but they're such a good brand that people should be looking at. Trick, anything different or approved on the new Libtech Orca 2021? Yeah, it's stiffer, and they added a C3 version of it, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know they stiffened it up. So, yeah. Okay. Vincent to 5'11", 200 pounds. Really want to see how far could I push the carving game, but not sure about handling speed. Indoors mainly. Love my Goliath. Should I get a carver and find out, or a party board like the War Pig? I wouldn't go with the War Pig. I would go with the Super Pig. I think if you're doing carving, it carves better than the War Pig, and you can still party board with it on the indoor. Otherwise, if you're really looking for a carving board and you want to just go for it, the Battalion Carver is fucking phenomenal. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, been here hour 17 minutes. I'm going to give you guys 3 more minutes to give me some more questions. We'll try to bang through those. So plop those over really quick right now into the chat box. We'll get that done. I will do a live stream again tomorrow for anyone that won stickers in the spin of the wheel. Make sure you get me your address. I'll fill it out, put them in there. I'm actually in the process of making more stickers, so sometime this week. I'm trying to avoid the post office, even though I got to go in and get stamps. So, yeah. Okay. Water bottle. Can I see Kevin's wiener? We're trying to get Kevin's wiener on the green screen at some point. So we're going to film it running around on the green screen. Trick, does anybody in the goggle game compare to Oakley Prisms? I've been really impressed with the new Dragon stuff that's coming out with the Luma lens. So, yeah, there's that. Definitely check that. Smith always does good stuff as well. So Smith is very comparable. Yeah, let's see. But, yeah, if you guys got questions, we got 2 more minutes to answer them, so put them over there. You guys will get your first top 5 tomorrow morning. It is the top 5 things snowboarding will teach you. So, yeah, that'll drop tomorrow morning. Okay. Rich Lesnar, for a combination of carving and freestyle park, do you think the Rocker Camber Rocker Jackpot will be better than the C4 2021 Jackpot? That's a tough question. I think the C4, which will be more camber dominant, it theoretically should carve a little bit better, but I haven't ridden it yet, so I'm going to wait until I do ride it, which hopefully I will be riding it, not through this week, obviously, because everything's on quarantine, but maybe the week after I'll be able to get out and go. So, yeah, do that. This will probably be the last question. This comes from Trick. Thoughts on Gentum sticks? I think they got an inflated price, and I've also heard the funniest thing ever. The stuff that they hand make never rides as well as their mass-produced stuff. that comes out of GP87, and the stuff from GP87 tends to be the cheaper stuff. So there's that. I've never gotten my hands on one, so I can't really say, but I do know that Creepy Superfan Alan Russell was able. He had a manta ray for a while before he sold it, and he said it was good in deep pow, but he said it wasn't like the most mind-blowing thing, but he also got it for half price, so it made it affordable. Yeah, okay. Oh, yes, and I'm going to give a PSA. Jim and Ted from Shred Ahead Snowboarding, the most amazing boomer snowboarders in the world who look like they're incapable of understanding technology, have dropped a new video. So if you haven't checked out Shred Ahead Snowboarding, please go check them out. I love those guys. They make me laugh more than anything because I love what they're trying to do, and they're so sincere in it, and they're just trying so hard, but they're over 65, and it's the most comedic thing in the world to me. But it's not in a malicious way at all. I just love those guys. I would, if we weren't under quarantine and I could drive up to Idaho right now, I would totally go ride with Jim and Ted. I really want to make like a shirt like Bill and Ted's, but it's Jim and Ted's Excellent Shred Ventures, and just make the logo for them and send it to them and be like, you guys need this. Like here, like I want you to have this. I love those guys more than, like, they're the greatest snowboarding channel in the world to me. I watch their stuff and it just makes me laugh every time because it's like they're trying to be so informative and they're trying to do it, but you know that they don't understand technology or this YouTube thing, and it's absolutely fucking amazing. But their passion for snowboarding is absolutely great. So check out Shred Ahead Snowboarding, guys. Anyways, we'll have another live stream tomorrow. We'll be back. There'll be some new things on the wheel. We're going to go with it. We'll see where we end up. Thanks again for all the support. Remember, new top 5 video. I am editing the podcast together. Some of the information in there about coronavirus will be a little bit delayed. I'll probably put a little disclaimer in the video portions as well as on the audio one. And yeah. So, and someone said YouTube collab, Angry Time Shred Ahead. That would probably be the only collab I would do. I love those guys so much. But yeah. Anyways, and you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in another video.